Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This lecture number 5 for 4th grade English section. We will discuss some exercises on process costing. Exercise number 1. In manufacturing its products, Trivano Corporation adds all direct material at the beginning of the production process. So, direct material will added at the beginning of the process. The company's direct labor and overhead are considered to be continuously at the same degree of completion. September production information is as follows. Beginning work in process inventory 24,000 pounds. Started during September 600,000 pounds. Completed during September 608,000 pounds. As of September 1st, the beginning work in process inventory was 45% complete as to labor and overhead. So we can add labor plus overhead or combine labor and overhead to get conversion cost. On September 30, the ending work in process inventory was 65% complete as to conversion. So conversion here means direct labor plus overhead required. Determine the total number of pounds to account for if Trivano uses the weighted average process costing method. Number B. Determine the equivalent units of production for direct material. Number C. Determine the equivalent units of production for direct labor and overhead. To solve this exercise, we draw this arrow to represent the production process. This is the start point or 0%, and this is the end of the process 100% complete. We have some information like the company adds all direct material at the beginning of the production process. So we put direct material here at 0%. Beginning work on process inventory 24,000 pounds was 45% complete. So at 45% we have beginning work in process 24,000 pounds. Beginning work in process treated as input. Start during September 600,000 started, so we put the start unit at 0%. Complete during September, we can say completed or finished goods or transferred out 608,000 completed, so it appear at 100%. Finished goods 608,000. On September 30, the ending work in process inventory was 65% complete as to conversion. So we put work in process at 65%, and this row means ending work in process treated as output. How many units or pounds in ending work in process? Its amount is unknown, so we need to calculate its amount. We have 6 steps. The first 3 steps represent the production data flow, and the last 3 steps presented the cost flow or the cost data. The first step, production cost or production data. Beginning work in process inventory 24,000. Units started 600,000. The sum of both equal units to account for. Beginning work in process plus units started. The second step to calculate or to present the output of the process. Beginning work in process completed, the same number, because we treated the finished goods as 100, which combines of beginning work in process and the units started and completed. Started and completed 584,000. So we have this number, but this number is unknown. But we have the total finished goods or the total units completed 608,000. We have 24,000 of them from beginning work in process. So the residual amount equal 500. Completed 608,000. And the second element, ending work in process, to complete the total number. Units accounted for 624,000. يبقى احنا ممكن نقول ان احنا عندنا المدخلات اللي هي الانبوتس beginning work in process plus units start. The sum of the two elements equal 624,000 represent units to account for, and this is the first step. The second step represents the output of the process, which combine of finished goods or units completed and ending work in process. Ending work in process is a known number, so we have units completed given 608,000. The total units accounted for must be equal to units to account for. These two numbers must be equal. 624,000. We have units completed by 608,000 given, so the residual equal 16,000 ending work in process. This step 1 and this step number 2. In step 3, we will calculate equivalent units of production. Equivalent units of production. We have cost elements: direct material, direct labor, and overhead. Direct labor plus overhead equal conversion cost. So we have direct material and conversion cost. Step 3, we have to calculate units or equivalent units. Finished goods in weighted average method combine between beginning work on process and units started and treated both of them as 100% completed at the end of the process. So 24,000 of beginning work on process will be 100% of direct material and 100% of conversion cost. So we multiply 24,000 times 100% equal 24,000, and the same with conversion cost. Units started and completed 584,000 times 100%, and with the conversion cost the same times 100%. We can say, instead of these two elements, units completed 608,000, under direct material the same number 608,000, and under conversion cost the same number 608,000, because we multiply units completed or finished goods time 100% for direct material and for conversion cost. The second element of output ending work on process, physical units equal 16,000. Direct material. We stop here at 65%. We have ending work on process. Direct material added before 65%. This means ending work on process used or have all direct material. يعني ال ending work on process استفاد من ال direct material. So we have 16,000 times 100% equal 16,000. For direct labor and overhead, or we can say for conversion cost, it add continuously. So ending work on process have 65% of conversion cost. 65% of conversion cost. So we have to multiply 65% times 16 units, 16,000 units times 65% equal 10,400. Ending work on process equal 16 times 100% because direct material added before ending work on process. Conversion cost treated or added continuously. So ending work on process have 65% of conversion cost. 16,000 times 65% equal 10,400. We have to add 24,000 plus 584,000 plus 16 equal 624,000. For conversion cost, 24,000 plus 584,000 plus 10,400 equal 619,400. So the required number A determines the total number of pounds to account for, units to account for, 624,000. Number B determines the equivalent units of production for direct material, and number C the same for direct labor and conversion cost. For direct material, 624,000. This is the equivalent units. And for conversion cost or direct labor and overhead equal 618,400. This is step number 1, step number 2, and this is step number 3, equivalent units for cost elements. Exercise number 2, Spamberg products manufacturers computer cases. All material is added at the start of production. Material is added at the start of production at 0%, and overhead is assumed to be incurred at the same rate as labor. So we can combine direct labor plus overhead to get conversion cost. Overhead is applied to each product at the rate of 70% of direct labor cost. So overhead equal direct labor cost times 70%. At the beginning of July, there were no units in the finished goods inventory. We have no beginning finished goods inventory. The firm's inventory cost records provide the following information. Work in process inventory, July 1st, 70% complete as to labor, and overhead treated at the same rate. Units 100,000, direct material cost and direct labor cost. Units started in production 1,500,000. Costs for July, direct material cost and direct labor cost. Work in process inventory at the end of July, 60% complete as to labor, as we say before, the same rate for overhead, 400,000 units. At the end of July, the cost of finished goods inventory was determined to be $124,000. This is the cost of ending finished goods. Compute the following equivalent units of production using the weighted average method. Unit production costs for material, labor, and overhead. Number 3. cost of goods sold. Number 4 or number B. Prepare the journal entries to record the July transfer of completed goods and the July cost of goods sold. We have direct material added at the beginning or at the start of the production process. We have beginning work in process at 70% complete, ending work in process inventory at 60% complete, and we have units started 1,500,000. Started means at 0%. So we have beginning work in process and units started equal 100,000 plus 1,500,000 equal 1,600,000. So the total units to account for equal 1,600,000. The output, we have ending work in process equal 400,000. So the second element of output, which is finished goods, equal the total of units to account for minus ending work in process. 1,600,000 minus 400,000. So finished goods equal 1,200,000. Units started 1,500,000 at 0%. Beginning work in process 1 million at 70% complete. Ending work in process at 60% complete equal 400,000 unit. Finished goods at 100,000%. Its cost, finished goods inventory 124,000. This is the ending finished goods inventory. Ending. But we calculate the total finished goods equal 1,200,000. The total units completed or the total finished goods equal started unit plus beginning work in process minus ending work in process inventory equal 1,200,000. We start from step number 2. Beginning work in process equal 100,000. We treated beginning work in process inventory as 100% completed at the end of the process. So 100,000 times 100% equal 100,000 for direct material and direct labor and overhead. Total units completed equal 1,200,000 minus units completed from beginning work in process 100,000 equal 1,100,000. So the units started and completed equal 1,100,000, treated as 100% completed at the end of the process. So units started and completed equal 1,100,000 for direct material, direct labor, and overhead. The second element of output, ending work in process inventory. Its units 400,000. If we look at this row, ending work in process at 60% and direct material added at the beginning of the process. So direct material added before ending work on process. Direct material added at the beginning of the process before the completed percentage of ending work on process. So ending work on process have used direct material. So under direct material we have 400,000. But for direct labor and overhead treated at the same percent, 60%. So we have to multiply 400,000 times 60%. 400,000 times 60% equal 240,000 under direct labor and overhead. So we can say any cost element added before the ending work on process or beginning work on process or finished goods inventory before, so we have to account for it at 100%. يعني نقدر نقول إن احنا استفدنا بيه بنسبة 100%. The total units accounted for equal 1,600,000 and the equivalent units of production from direct material equal 1,600,000. Direct labor 1,440,000. Overhead 1,440,000. The second part of the report or the last three steps of the report represent cost data. Step number 4, we have to calculate the total cost to account for. The total cost to account for. The total cost to account for equal beginning work on process cost plus the current period cost. Beginning work in process cost plus current period cost. From the information, cost of beginning work in process, direct material 750,000, direct labor 215,000. Direct material, direct labor. Overhead unknown, but we have note which said the overhead is applied to each product at the rate of 70% of direct labor cost. So overhead for beginning work on process equal direct labor cost 215,000 times 70% equal 150,500. Current period cost, direct material and direct labor given. Direct material 5,065,000 and direct labor cost 4,105,000. Overhead equal direct labor cost times 70,000. 4,105,000 times 70% equal 2,873,500. Direct material and direct labor and overhead in beginning work on process equal plus current period cost equal total cost to account for. We have to calculate cost of direct material in beginning work on process plus current period cost, and direct labor in the beginning work on process plus current period, and overhead in beginning work on process plus current period. So we have to calculate the total cost to account for. This is step number 4. Step number 5, we have to calculate the cost per equivalent unit. We take total cost to account for divided by unit أو equivalent units of production. يبقى total cost to account for divided by equivalent units of production equal cost per equivalent unit. Material, total cost of direct material 6,400,000 divided by equivalent units of direct material 1,600,000 equal 4. Labor, total cost 4,320,000 divided by 1,440,000 equal 3. Total cost of overhead 3,024,000 divided by 1,440,000 equal 2.1. The total cost per equivalent units equal 4 plus 3 plus 2.1 equal 9.1. So equivalent units of production using the weighted average method equal from direct material 1,600,000, from direct labor 1,440,000, overhead 1,440,000. Unit production costs for material, labor, and overhead. For material equal 4, labor equal 3, overhead equal 2.1. Total cost per equivalent unit equal 9.1. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold equal beginning finished goods inventory is 0, it's given, plus cost of goods manufactured equal the number of finished goods 1,200,000 times cost per equivalent units 1,200,000 is number of finished goods times 9.1 total cost per equivalent units minus ending finished goods inventory, and this is given $124,000. 0 plus 10 million and 920,000 minus 124,000 equal 10,796,000. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. Number B, the journal entry to record the July transfer of completed goods and July cost of goods sold. We assume that we use the perpetual inventory system, so we have to record two entries: finished goods inventory debit and work in process inventory credit. Cost of goods sold debit and finished goods inventory credit. If we have the price of the or the selling price for the completed units, we must record the journal entry account account receivable debit and sales credit, but we have no the amount of the selling price, so just we record the finished goods inventory debit and work in process inventory credit by the cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold 10 million 796,000 cost of goods sold, and another entry for cost of goods manufactured. Cost of goods manufactured. Cost of goods manufactured transferred from work in process to finished goods inventory. 10,920,000 finished goods inventory, work in process inventory credit. The second entry to record the transfer of finished goods inventory from finished goods inventory to the customers, but we have no the price or the selling price. Another exercise: get along ink manufacturers build booklets in a single step production process, so we have only one production process. The following information is available for June 2013. Physical units, cost of material, cost of labor. Beginning work in process 200,000 units. Its cost of direct material 1,200,000. Cost of labor 671,875. Units start during period 1 million units. Its cost of material 7,800,000. Its cost of labor 3,976,250. Units in ending inventory 300,000. All material is added at the start of production process, so direct material added at the first of the process. Beginning and ending inventory units were respectively 80% and 70%. So beginning work in process at 80% and ending at 70% complete as to conversion. Overhead is applied to production at the rate of 60% of direct labor cost. So if we need to calculate the cost of overhead, it equal cost of labor times 60%. Prepare a schedule to compute equivalent units of production by cost component assuming the weighted average method. Determine the unit production cost for material and conversion. Calculate the costs assigned to completed units and ending inventory for August 2013. We have beginning work in process equal to 100,000 and units started during period 1 million. So the total units to account for equal 1,200,000. We have ending work in process equal 300,000. So the completed units equal 1,200,000 minus 300,000 equal 900,000. This is the production process. at 0% direct material added, and we have unit started 1 million. I have to add 0 here. 1 million units. At 70% ending work on process 300,000. At 80% beginning work on process 200,000. At 100% or at the end of the production process, we have finished goods or units completed or finished and transferred out. 1 million plus beginning 200,000 minus ending work on process equal units completed 900,000. Remember, direct material added at 0 before the completed percentage of ending work on process. So ending work on process used direct material complete. Production data. The first step, beginning work on process 200,000 plus units started 1 million equal total units to account for 1,200,000. The second step, finished goods 900,000, ending work on process 300,000. The total units accounted for 1,200,000. Step 1 equal step 2. Step 3, we add the cost elements, direct material and conversion cost. Direct material and conversion cost. In this method, weighted average method, we assume that units started and completed plus or combined with beginning work on process. So the finished goods, we can combine beginning work on process and units started in one expression, finished goods or units completed or units transferred out 900. Finished goods at 100%, so it completed from all cost elements. 900,000 times 100% equal 900,000 for direct material and conversion cost. Ending work on process at 70%. Direct material added before, so direct material will be used totally here, but for conversion cost at the same level. So direct material equal 300,000 times 100% equal 300%, but for conversion cost 300,000 times 70% times 70%, the percentage of completion for ending work on process 210,000. 900,000 plus 300,000 equal 1,200,000. 900,000 for conversion cost plus 210,000 equal 1,110,000. This is the equivalent units of production. Equivalent units of production. The second part, cost data. We have to calculate the total cost to account for it equal cost on beginning work on process plus current period cost. Beginning work on process, cost of material 1,200,000, cost of labor. Conversion cost equal direct labor cost 6 171,875 plus overhead, which equal 60% of this number. يبقى 1,075,000 equal direct material cost plus overhead. Direct material cost given 671,875 plus cost of overhead. Cost of overhead equal 60% of direct labor cost. So we have to multiply this number times 60%. The current period cost, direct material 7,800,000 plus cost of labor 3,976,250 plus overhead. Overhead equal cost of labor times 60%. This number equal direct labor cost plus overhead. Direct labor cost plus overhead. Total cost to account for from direct material equal 9 million. Conversion cost 7,437,000 divided by equivalent units. Step number 3 equal cost per equivalent unit. Step number 5 equivalent cost or cost per equivalent units of direct material equal 7.5. For conversion cost equal 6.7. Sum of them equal 14.2. 14.2. Step number 6 cost assignment. Cost assignment. Finished goods. Finished goods 9,000 from direct material and 900,000 and 900,000 from conversion cost. So we can take 900,000 as a common factor times the total cost per equivalent units. 900,000 times 14.2 equal 12,780,000. Ending work in process 300,000 direct material times 7.5 plus 210,000 conversion cost times 6.7 equal 3,657,000. The sum of cost of finished goods plus cost of ending work in process equal total cost accounted for. Total cost accounted for. The total cost to account for from process or step number 4 must equal the sum of total cost accounted for. The next exercise. In a single process production system, Funky Fingers produces wool gloves. For November 2013, the company's accounting records reflected the following. Beginning work in process inventory 10% complete as to material, 30% complete as to direct labor, 60% complete as to overhead. The units of beginning work in process equal 12,000 units. Units started during the month 90,000 units. Ending work in process inventory 100%. complete as to material, 40% complete as to direct labor, 80% complete as to overhead. Units of ending work in process inventory, 20,000 units. Cost components, direct material, direct labor, overhead. November 1st reflects the cost of beginning work in process. During November represent current period cost. For November, prepare a cost of production report assuming the company uses the weighted average method. For November, prepare a cost of production report assuming that the company uses FIFO method. We have present the production process at 0 points. We have started 90,000 units. 90,000 units. Beginning work on process to 12,000 units, but we have 3 different percentage of completion for material, labor, and overhead, and we have 3 different percentage of completion for ending work on process. So just we say we have beginning work on process 12,000, direct material 100% complete, direct labor 30% complete, overhead 60% complete, and beginning work on process treated as inputs. Ending work on process 20,000 units, direct material completed by 100%, direct labor 40%, overhead 80%. Output. At the end of the process, we have finished goods equal its amount is unknown, so we calculate the units to account for beginning plus started 12,000 plus 90,000 minus ending work on process. So 102,000 minus 20,000 equal 82,000 units. Required A and B. Required A, you can use the weighted average method, and required B, you must use first in, first out method or FIFO method. This exercise is assignment. بكده نكون أنهينا المحاضرة، وإن شاء الله المحاضرة الجاية هستلم منكم الأسايمنت اللي هو حل exercise الأخير. شكرا، ونتقابل في المحاضرة القادمة إن شاء الله.